Hello, welcome to the next game in this ladder sequence. Let's take a look at what we've got. Band of Misfits, which can play Fishmonger, Magpie, Necromancer, Wheelwright, Rice Broker. So Rice Broker I've not played with before. And Kintsugi, I don't think I have played with before. I didn't come up. So Magpie is interesting. Church is interesting. Do you just want to open double church? Modify is a gainer, so you can do some gaining. Capital City is a pretty good village. Looting lets you get some plus buys, so probably we need to get to 6 so we can get some looting. This could be Church Magpie, probably. Magpie just to start gaining magpies and drawing stuff. Church to set aside. I can also believe in double church, but I think Church Magpie makes the most sense to me, and then we move to get a second church after that. Magpies should be good with Modify. They should be good with Wheelwright, potentially. Second Magpie, second Church. Fishmonger. Fishmonger's also plus buy. That's useful to note. I think this will just be second Church. And then here I'll probably set aside most of my hand and pick up either a Rice Broker or a Band of Misfits, perhaps. Capital City, there's lots of good stuff, I guess. Set aside 3, and I have no terminals right now, so Fishmonger doesn't seem terrible, especially with the bottom deck ability. And I've got 2 churches, so I don't think Haven is doing a ton for me. Yeah, Capital City probably for the village effect, and then consider something else. Band of Misfits isn't doing a ton, other than Necromancer, basically, and I think the Magpie pile usually runs, and then Fishmonger you can kind of leave at the bottom of your deck. So probably won't play with Band of Misfits. Probably start by getting 1 Capital City, and then 1 gold. To be determined. I mean, maybe the first 6 wants to be, looting, just to try to find some plus buy stuff. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get a Capital City here. I realize I can play the Fishmonger from the bottom of the deck. And our hands are starting pretty big with Capital City. The other thing we can do with Capital City is discard treasures and then redraw them very easily with Magpies. So that's a pattern we can look for. My opponent's did start with the 5-2, and I'm not like super deeply tracking what they're doing right now. Okay. So I can play the Fishmonger again, get a second Capital City, and have ways to gain money, and then I'm going to look to get is Kintsugi worth it? Probably not. I'm going to look to do some looting, potentially. I'm not 100% sure about that. At some point here, I do need to gain some more magpies. That will be nice, but I don't know, having plus buy sitting on the bottom of my deck seems pretty good. This is my first time ever playing with Fishmonger, but it seems pretty good. Rice Broker I played with a little bit. Rice Broker potentially with Necromancer. That's interesting. So I can use Rice Broker to trash actions and then play them with Necromancer. That's really interesting. My opponent can also do the same thing, of course, but that's something we just watch out for. They got an Amphora. What does an Amphora do? Okay. It's not terrible. I don't see a reason to discard 2 here, do I? I don't think I do. All right, so we play the Fishmonger, we play the Church, and then we decide what we want to do. Do we just want to go ahead and do our own looting? Do we want to keep thinning? It seems worth it to get a Rice Broker so I can try. I mean, just not gaining magpies, though. Is there a world where I play Fishmonger and then set aside 3 cards with Church? I think there is. I think that's the best course of action here. And then I can get myself a silver for a little more money and density. I can get myself another Fishmonger for the buy. And I have 2 villages and no terminals right now, so I guess I'll get another Fishmonger and be okay with that, and hopefully find a way to hit this Magpie. Interesting with the shadow cards, actually, I can kind of guarantee the Magpie hit if I can draw enough through my deck. I think I'm going to be one short drawing here. I think my opponent has gained all of the Magpies this game, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm setting aside this stuff with double church. I feel like I should be more able to find, draw. But, okay, I won't discard here. I won't discard here, but here I can gain myself a Magpie, which is nice. They got an Endless Chalice. I never quite learned how good the loot pile is, to be honest. Is it worth sifting in the loot pile for a couple of turns? Or should I just go ahead, get myself a gold, get myself a modify, and start modifying stuff, or get Wheelwrights, discard 5s to gain 4s? It is uncertain to me. It seems at least I want to get one big payload card, so it seems worth doing a looting one time, seeing what I get, and then maybe doing it one more later. Picked up a spell scroll. Trash this to gain a cheaper card. If it's an action or treasure, you may play it. So I can use that to gain a gold. I can also trash it to gain a yeah. I can't actually play it for any money. So kind of the worst case scenario for the loot deck, I would suppose. But we will see how we're doing. So finish one of you. Okay, I did gain a Magpie. And play my spell scroll. I guess I just go ahead and get a gold. Double church is kind of slow, but it's moving along. Play one of you. And then how far down do I want to go? I mean, modify seems like just by far the strongest thing here. Do I want to just set aside everything, buy another gold, and move towards a province? I think I need to get a modify before I buy a province. Modify just seems like the strongest card on the board. So maybe go ahead and get a modify and pick up one haven, I guess, with the 2. Don't need another fishmonger. And continue thinning with my churches, getting rid of the rest of the coppers, and probably just going ahead and starting to province now. They've picked up an amphora, and which gives them some more plus buy and some money, which is nice. And they also picked up an endless chalice, which is just coins and buy. So I feel like they got the better of the split for loot. I also feel like they got the better of the split for magpies, even though I opened with Church Magpie. It seemed like I should have more magpies. But maybe I drew more coppers, and they bought an orb. So, okay, we just keep drawing. Now, finally, when we want it, we don't see the stuff. So we can play the Haven here, just set the modify aside. I guess I'm going to need one more payload card here. So we will set aside 3 coppers and buy 1 more looting. And then look to province starting next turn. We gained a shield. Shield is 3 money plus 1 buy. So there's no attacks here, but it's better than a gold. And it's a reaction, so potentially that's useful. On parallel with an orb, I'd say. And modify another card I can modify into a province, potentially. Of the trash, I've trashed quite a bit more coppers, so I should be ahead here in the copper game. And I am second player. I am first player, so I do need to start provincing this. Sorry, I'm second player. We'll see what they do. Their deck does not seem as well suited to provincing as mine. But we'll see if they go for province. They just keep going for loots. Once I go for provinces, they kind of have to do stuff. They just have a lot more loot than I do. So they're doing more loot stuff. The thing is, I can double province pretty easily. don't think they can do, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Yeah, once I actually want to get Magpie working, it has stopped working fully. So if I play this, if I discard 2 coppers, the Magpie will always draw one of those coppers back, which feels good. So I've got 10 and 2 money. I can modify a Fishmonger to something useful. What's in the trash? Trash in action, look at the top card of your deck, trash the top card of your deck. Can I play Spell Scroll? I can play Spell Scroll out of the trash with Necromancer, is that correct? Play a face-up non-duration card from the trash. And the trash is a face-up non-duration card. Action card, leaving it there and turning it down. Does it work? Does it work with... Does Spell Scroll work trash this to gain? I don't know. Okay, that would be useful to know. Probably I can turn that into a thing anyways. I can always turn the Necromancer into something better. So I'm going to modify Fishmonger into Necromancer, play Fishmonger, set aside 2 coppers, and buy a province. And feel like I'm more than first player behind because of the loot stuff they've gotten, but with the modify, I have a chance to double at some point here. It would be this turn, actually, I want to double to put pressure on them with the modify. So that's something I need to do. Yeah, I need to do that this turn because they can double themselves. And it doesn't look like they're quite going to get there. Oh, nope, they're going to get to double. So yeah, that's going to be tough. Can I triple? No. So I have to single province and duchy this turn. They get to 36 points if they double twice. Oh, they didn't. Okay. I am going to continue to trash coppers. Might as well discard 2. I will, yes, I will take the cards. Desperately need the cards. Okay. We will set aside what? Set aside the Necromancer? And I think I need to set aside a copper and hope I can play. Okay, yeah, so I have 2 cards in the discard pile that I would kind of like to set aside. But, so something I can do with Necromancer as well is play Zombie Mason here with it. So I can play Fishmonger and then draw a card and discard 2 cards for action. This bottom card is going to be the copper I discarded, which I don't think I want to do anything with. I can modify the Necromancer into a duchy, perhaps. I can just set aside 3 things with that. Oh, I need money. Oh, that's yeah, I can just discard Necromancer province and then set aside the modify by a province. So yeah, setify the modify by a province. And then if my opponent doubles, I should be able to double in response, hopefully. But there's some other stuff going on. At some point, my opponent's Magpies will stop drawing them a ton of cards. I'm still pretty upset by how readily they gained Magpies. Maybe I feel like the Magpie Church opening should have gained like a ton of Magpies because I'm setting aside all of my stuff that's not actions, but it does not seem to have worked that way. Okay, they do seem to have had a dud here. Probably they could still get a province, which means I need to get province duchy. Or even double duchy. Province duchy seems necessary. Again, if they get to 3 duchies... Oh, they found kind of all their treasure this turn, but none of their magpies. That's interesting. Oh, they got 2 province. They got use Kintsugi. Kintsugi lets you gain a card costing up to 2 more than the trashed card. Okay. So, if I modify, if I Kintsugi, potentially I can do some stuff. Excellent. Okay, so we play Capital City here. So we discard 2 provinces for 2 money. That gets us to 13 money. We Kintsugi to trash the church into a duchy. Oh, we Kintsugi. We need to trash the gold into a province, I suppose. So, gain a gold, gain a card costing up to 2 more. So that's Kintsugi. So I can modify gold into province. I need to buy a province somehow, which I can with this Fishmonger, right? Fishmonger, copper, shield. Necromancer trashes whatever the top card of this deck is. This top card of this deck should be a Capital City. So I trash the Capital City into a duchy, and then I modify the gold into province and buy a province. Gain a duchy, and we modify gold into province. Oh, I'm short in action. Nuts. Okay, let's see if I can save this. Oops. Okay, so I can modify shield into province, and then Kintsugi gold into province. Okay. To province, and Kintsugi shield into province. Okay, excellent. Feeling okay about that one. And feeling pretty good. Got that game ready. But looks like my opponent will play another one, so we'll play another one.